What is up, everybody? ZWZTV, Zunigaistheman, whatever. Stuff like this legitimately gets frustrating after a while. Courtesy of GameRant.com, we give the article here. Fox News suggests mass shootings have gotten so much worse because of violent video games. I swear. What is with freaking media always constantly vilifying video games? I'll give my thoughts on this as we read through this article. Fox News suggests that mass shootings have gotten so much worse as video games have become more realistic and violent. Multiple mass shootings took place in the US this past weekend. One of the mass shootings happened at a grocery store in Buffalo, New York, where an 18-year-old white male shot and killed 10 people while injuring 3 others. The shooter alleged manifesto indicates that the attack was racially motivated, a theory that is backed by the fact that 11 of the 13 victims were black. Assuming the manifesto is legitimate, the shooter is a self-described white supremacist. Pause on the ad there. Some white supremacists and fascists inspired by far-right rhetoric, conspiracy theories like the Great Replacement theory. The Buffalo shooting is being essentially covered in U.S. media, rightfully so, including Fox News. In the Sunday episode of Fox Report, host John Scott spoke with former ATF agent Bernard Zapper, or however his last name is pronounced, about the shootings that took place this past weekend. In a viral clip of the segment, Scott brought up violent video games. It seems like these things have gotten so much worse since video games became so realistic and so violent, Scott said. He then asked the reporter if video games desensitize people to the actual results of pulling a trigger. Then you look down here. Support did not outright blame violent video games for mass shootings in his response, instead pointing to a digital communication and perceived decline in face-to-face interaction in general, saying that we're communicating through a medium that was never really intended as a human being. Ever since they bring up Columbine, and this is a very prevalent thing that we see so many times, video games have been blamed for causing mass shootings and other violent acts. Because I remember, I believe they tried saying that, freaking Harris and Klebold most likely shot because they were inspired by Doom. Like, what in the hell? There were studies conducted over the years that found no connection between video games and violence. Studies that suggest video games can increase aggression in certain individuals, but it's quite the leap to suggest they will lead to commit a mass shooting. Saying that video games, available all over the world, even though in certain countries, like I know China, they kind of try to put a halt on that. Regardless, it's not the first time that the finger has been pointed at violent video games in the wake of mass shooting, and unfortunately, it's unlikely to be the last either. Sometimes it's a news channel, like was the case in this incident, but other times, in politician, Trump, 2019, we blame video games for mass shootings. Trump, you're an idiot. It's like, what is wrong with media? What is it, like, every time something happens, blame video games. This statement right here that I'm making right now is coming from somebody who's been playing video games since his childhood, alright? Right now I'm 30 years old. I've been playing video games since I was, probably within 5 years old. Video games starting all the way back in the NES days. Video games are not causing these mass shootings. Stop looking for video games as a scapegoat. The blame is not on video games, no matter how many times you spin it, the blame is on the people committing this shit and their freaking mental well-being, freaking something in them snapping to thinking that committing these acts are freaking right. The freaking his manifesto, the person that did this shooting indicates did not have any indication saying that video games inspired him to do this. The guy is racist. He did this because he was motivated through racism to commit the acts. Did you see anything in his manifesto saying that, I played this video game and I felt like doing this. I I was inspired by doing this through Grand Theft Auto 5 or Manhunt or Doom or Duke Nukem or any of that crap. No! It's like every time you turn, these freaking, like, you got politicians and these news channels that just keep blaming video games over and over and over. Like I said, I've been playing video games since I was a kid. You know how many times I committed freaking crimes motivated through video games? 0! I played video games of all kinds. I've played Manhunt. I've gone through Doom. I've gone through Duke Nukem. I've gone through freaking the Grand Theft Auto series. I've played the wrestling video games that's all about beating people up. Yet I have never been freaking influenced to go out and do something stupid, like freaking committing any kind of crimes. I've never gone out and decided, hey, I'm a wrestling fan. I played a wrestling video game. I want to go out and freaking German suplex somebody on concrete. Or freaking playing Grand Theft Auto 5 and felt like beating up a hooker with a baseball bat. Or any of that crap. You know why? Because it takes people with common sense to know that, hey, this is not good stuff to do in real life. It doesn't matter how cool a video game is. Normal people know that this stuff is not good to replicate. Because there are real life consequences. You do this kind of crap, you're gonna get caught and either freaking killed or at least thrown in jail. Depending on what freaking forces that normal people or police choose to do upon confronting you with this whole situation. But yet the media doesn't know what to do other than to vilify video games. If you want an example of a video I recommend you guys watch, go to Grade A Underrate's channel. He's got a video about video games to talk about how the media keeps vilifying video games and everything, like talking about the PSP and the Nintendo DS and all that. That's another good video to go back and watch and listen to. Because for some reason the media just looks at video games as being the worst thing ever. You know why I play video games? It's a freaking escape out of life. If I'm tired from a long day at work, well, technically a long night at work because I work their shift, but if I'm tired after a long night at work, I'll go to a video game just to sit back and relax. Not because I'm freaking pissed off and want to be fueled with aggression, go out and do something and let out my anger. Even video games rarely even give me any kind of aggression. And if a video game is pissing me off, I turn it off. Like Super Mario Bros. 2 or that TNA game on the Xbox 360. And by TNA, I'm talking about the wrestling video game, not tits and asses. But it's just like, why is the media so obsessed with vilifying video games anytime anything happens? A video game console comes out, they'll freaking spin it to be a negative thing. A freaking big act of violence happens, oh, video games must, it's been doing this because of video games. They're making everything realistic, or video games are making people violent without even showing any proof. I mean, you've got freaking studies out there. No connection between video games and violence. Like I said, how many freaking gamers you see out there going around and freaking playing a video game and then going out and doing this shit? Do you see Ninja going out after playing Fortnite and deciding to freaking slaughter people? Have you seen gamers on YouTube like freaking PewDiePie or Markiplier or Jacksepticeye doing this crap? No! Because people know better. People know not to replicate the stuff that you see in video games. Nobody with a good mind is gonna play like the game Manhunt on the PS2 and see how you freaking end people and then go out and upon playing that suddenly get motivated to do that in real life with the first person they see walking out in front of their house. Because it's stupid! But no, video games are just treated as the worst thing in the world. Because like I said, it says no connection between video games and violence. If video games cause violence, I would be the most violent person you would ever hear on YouTube because I play video games on a daily basis. And I've played video games of all kinds of genres. Alright, beat 'em ups, the wrestling games, freaking open world games like with GTA 5 and all that shit. RPGs. Well, not the kind of RPGs where you have zoomed out and you click and saying like, oh, this character do this to this people like you would see with the freaking like Diablo series or anything. But still, you get my point. It's like this constant vilification of video games and just aiming it every time something happens in the world. Even when it's like a youth or anybody freaking doing this stuff is getting absolutely stupid. Unless they say in their like freaking manifesto that they release saying that they're freaking doing something because they're motivated by video games, unless they freaking say that, then shut the hell up, news media. In fact, let me even look at this page right here. Wholesome memes protest video games cause violence claim. After politicians claim that video games cause violence, the internet responds with memes that utilize the innocence of games, pop culture, and cats. Man, let me see if they show anything within this page. Media complain about violent video games. Me, too afraid to pick rude dialogue options, thinking it would make the character sad. You got that. Video games cause violence! And Yoshi, playing as green dinosaur in a kart racing game. Yeah, where's the extreme violence caused in Mario Kart? Has anybody ever played freaking Super Mario Brothers and freaking had the freaking desire to jump on a turtle? Media saying video games cause violence. Me building a house and for my wife and kids at Skyrim. I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow to the knee. I don't care who Senator Peters is in that freaking ad over here popping up in the corner. Video games of violence. Me fishing for 5 hours in Minecraft. Yeah, where's the thing about Minecraft there? It says how video games cause violence. Me playing Farming Simulator 19. Or somebody playing Pokemon all day long. Is that realistic? Am I going out and catching going out with a Pokeball and catching a cat saying, your name is Skitty, now go fight all these other freaking creatures to death? No! Because the media is full of mentally challenged motherfuckers. To any news media outlet out there that tried to vilify video games and everything, saying that they're the worst things in the world and they're causing all this shit, up yours. This is on behalf of a video gamer who is not going to freaking suddenly stop playing video games just because you guys have some kind of propaganda agenda bullshit against them. Fuck you.